Here comes some content. It's a beautiful day to stay inside and watch us.
Please don't give us a copyright strike.
Bo, please. I'm a huge fan.
That's the harmony in the background that no one hears.
Yeah. Copyright infringement on the background. Please don't.
See, segue. I thought you were gonna say, "Daddy made you a combo."
Oh, that would have been no. Let's redo. But that's a good intro.
Yeah.
We should redo it.
Yeah. Let's.
You should do it. You should do it. You should do it.
I have not sung in a very long time, and it shows. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. Listen, I could really sing, but I ain't gonna do that. Hey, look, I made you a combo. Daddy made you your favorite. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Good enough.
Good enough. And just enough to not get stricken. We love it.
Welcome to Bad at Magic, Chase. It's
Welcome.
your first
Thank
time on
you.
the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It took y'all a while to pay for me to get on this, and I appreciate it. I'm a little worthwhile.
I am paying you in chicken nuggies and
exposure.
Yeah.
Anyways, what are we talking about for this week's episode of Bad at
We're
Magic?
talking about where you can find the show.
What? That's so crazy.
Because this show is places.
Yeah, this show is places.
It is one of the shows of all time.
It is one of the shows of all time. In fact, it is indeed a show. At least one singular show. If you want to help support Bad at Magic, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe on this YouTube channel. You can also find us on where other podcasts are available, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And it really does help support us if you go listen to us there, here, near, far, wherever you are. We also have a merch store, by the way, if you would like to show your support for our podcast and run some cool t-shirts on your body, like the Run More removal or the logo itself. We have those available on our bonfire, which is in the description below.
This week we're talking about combos in Commander, specifically combos in casual Commander, because that's like kind of been on our minds lately, and we thought that we should talk about that.
Yeah.
Because the last thing we want to do is bottle up our feelings.
No, I've done that for 26 years, and only now am I just unraveling that little pile. But when it comes to combos, we really do want to emphasize combos in casual Commander, because obviously, you know, this wouldn't really make much sense when we look at the context of like CDH, which is very combo oriented.
Do what you want.
Yeah, and it's very necessary, I think, for the format to have those. And when it comes to Commander, it's casual Commander, I should say. It's a little bit different. So with that being said, I do have to ask you, EK, as you, in my opinion, I think you're the comboiest out of the two of us.
That is not saying much, since you literally do not combo.
Yeah, I don't like to.
You combine cards together,
yes,
but you do not combo.
No,
and that's the nuance here.
Yes.
So to me, a combo is a combination of cards that work together to achieve something that is far greater than the parts of the combo are. Wow, words. I don't know how this saying goes.
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
There
like a Thassa's Oracle by itself, kind of a trash card.
Yeah.
A Demonic Consultation by itself is kind of an okay card.
Uh-huh.
But when you combine them together, they straight up win the game.
Yes.
A Sanguine Bond by itself is still a really good card. An Exquisite Blood, that's the name of the card. Yeah. Can you tell the combo player loves combos?
You are doing so great, and I'm so proud
I know.
of you. I like how you called sanguine. It makes me happy.
Sanguine. Like
that's my favorite kind of pasta.
Yeah.
Sanguini.
Sanguine Bond is a very good card by itself.
Yeah.
Exquisite Blood, a very fine, very good card by itself. But when you put them together, they loop around each other and you win the game. There's this fine line between combos and just cards that are really synergistic together.
Yes.
We don't have problems with synergy. It's just that there's this fine line that you ride where cards are too synergistic to the point where they get off the rails. They do heinous.
Yeah.
And make for a not fun play experience in some people's eyes.
I will say, like, I don't have anything against combos. This isn't a situation where, like, it's a rule 0. If you run combos, peace out. That's not
And
my thing.
it is
I
impossible to not have a combo in your
Oh,
deck.
of course. But for me, when someone goes, "Oh, I have an infinite combo," or like I have an infinite, or like I have like an alt wing con, but it's like a combo piece or whatever, I don't care. And I feel like a lot of times when people talk about, things as divisive as combos, you kind of expect us to be like, "Oh, well, like it's one way or the other." For me, I genuinely don't care. I just don't like to run them because I don't have fun playing them. But if I'm playing against them, super chill, because it takes you as an opponent have to be vigilant for the pieces of the combo,
Mhm.
which in itself is part of the game, but also it's just fun to assemble and see it get assembled too. It's just, for me, that play style isn't my steez to play, but playing against it, I actually think it's fine. I
Yeah.
think they're pretty fun and, all over the place.
I mean, you have called me out as a combo player, but like the
Yes, I have.
combos that I tend to enjoy
Mm-hmm.
are a little bit more non-traditional. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. I mean, I feel like we need to counter down in the bottom right corner of how many times we mentioned Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation, or like Kiki Jiki plus a card
Oh, I thought you were
this
going to
whole episode.
say there was going to be a counter in the corner saying how many times we said combo, because I don't think you would want to do that.
Yeah, this is not a drinking game waiting to
No, it's
happen.
not. Don't do that.
Um, but I love seeing combos that I've never seen before. I love
Yes.
seeing interactions that I've never seen before.
Mhm.
There's only so many times that I can see, the good stuff combos. There's only so many times that I think
Mhm.
like Aether Flux Reservoir, Bolas Citadel, and Sensei's Top is
Mhm.
interesting. You know.
I I really like seeing ingenious combos, just like you said. Like, for instance, friend of the show, delightful Stephanie Quad Nines had this. I don't know if she still has it, but it is forever cemented in my head as one of the most interesting combos I've ever seen. She has like this Rube Goldberg machine with Prosper Tomebound,
Mhm.
Ice Cauldron, and like four other cards. It's like a
Yeah.
7 card combo, but it works if you get all 7 pieces flowing. And it was so much fun to see that happen, because combos typically are their most comfortable in the 2 to 3 card range.
Yeah.
When you get past that, it stops being a combo and starts being more of a hope and a prayer. And to have it be 7 cards is insane to me. And I think stuff like that is just so cool, because it's really ingenious to like find ways to create these things
That
in
actually
there.
begs a really good question.
Yes.
How many pieces do you need for a combo before it starts becoming like either more or less socially acceptable? Like, do you have like a number in your head?
I think 2 to 3 cards is where it lives in my mind, because like 2 cards is where it lies more in the synergy range. But like obviously you have like Sanguine Bond and Exquisite Blood, but like you need
Yeah.
that third card in there to trigger
To
those
start,
two.
yeah.
So I would say about 3, 2 to 3.
I'm the type of person like I don't like two-card Andes. I think they're uninteresting.
2 card
Um
Andes?
yeah, I call it combo and Andy.
Why do you call it an Andy?
I don't know. It's just I've it's how it's been for like a decade, and
Why not
I won't stop.
why not call it a 2 card Carl? Like, give it the alliteration it deserves.
I don't kn I think that's the point, or it
I
doesn't
love
have
that you call it Andy.
alliteration.
I'm gonna steal that. That's cute.
And I think it actually dates back to, like, ante, like, playing for ante in a
Mhm.
in a card game, like, playing for ante at a poker table. Because I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when I was in college, I studied a lot of game theory and, like, strategic interaction, which is,
Mhm.
like, the sociology of game theory. And
Mhm.
you play a lot different, or you treat a game a lot more differently when there's ante at the table. I'm going to play the game a lot differently knowing if there's 2 card combos at a table
Mhm.
versus 3 card combos at a table, 4 plus, that, the whole Rube Goldberg thing, again,
Mhm.
differently. Depending on what it is, like you could have a Teamer Sabretooth and a Dockside Extortionist, and that
Mhm.
makes infinite treasures. But it only makes infinite treasures if there's enough artifacts on your opponent's side of the table.
Yeah.
These 2 card combos that are set up by your opponents doing really well, like these piggyback combos, I'm
Mhm.
totally cool with. But if it's tight and just works no matter what, whenever you want it to work, then I'm gonna have a little bit more trouble with it.
Yeah.
for me, it's not the amount of cards, it's the
Mhm.
context in which the combo needs.
I agree with you on that. Like as someone who typically doesn't really care about running combos, I will say like when I do play against them in games, I do want to feel like I had a meaningful play
Yeah,
experience. And I feel like I've heard people describe this. I don't remember where I heard it, but like if I don't like it when, it doesn't matter what happened before, like at all. Like
it's
if
the
like
cyclonic
someone
rift dilemma from the other week.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if whatever happened previously bears nothing on the combo that is about to happen, then it just kind of feels kind of like a bleh, like it feels like, well, I just played for nothing because
Yeah.
nothing would have mattered.
Or if the combo has come out so fast that like literally the only spell you cast the entire game is a cultivate and the game's already over,
Yeah.
you did not actually play that game. You like put one land into play tapped and your opponent won the game.
I would also say I think delivery on the combo too also matters. Like I've had combos where I've been like hard locked out of a game and like yeah, it's a bummer, but like someone was like, "Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this," and then I combo versus I've had play experiences where I was playing in like a charity event in person years ago and we were playing commander and a guy on turn 2 went, "Okay, Niv Mizzet, play some random card I've never heard of. Okay, I win the game." And then he just grabbed all his cards, scooped up, and left, and everyone resigned to it. And I was like, I don't like that. That's the energy I don't like.
There's a big difference to me, like comboing
Hmm.
off 20 minutes into a game
Hmm.
versus 45 minutes into the game. And
Yeah.
it might be just that might be like one turn difference.
Mm,
But that time investment, like I've had more time to be emotionally invested into the game. I've had more time to like maybe cast one or two more spells and
hmm.
do something.
Yeah. Because if to use the analogy of like combos kind of feel like you're slamming the brakes. Like if you slam the brakes like 10 feet from the house as opposed to like maybe an hour from the house, I'm gonna feel like, maybe you forgot something or like less jostled than if you did it
Yeah.
when we're like midway through the road trip. Like
Yeah. Like if we hit that like hour mark where everyone's kind of starting to like,
grooving.
oh, it's
Yeah.
getting late, we're grooving.
Yeah.
Go off, king. Go off, queen.
Yeah.
Do
Do
your
it.
thing.
Yeah. Games gotta
But
end
if
sometimes.
but if the mozzarella sticks and the Applebee's sampler platter has only just shown up to the table, don't ask for the check. We just sat down. We just got our drinks.
Okay, two things. First of all, why Applebee's?
It's just a really succinct analogy, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just I get concerned when I find a person who eats at Applebee's.
I have not eaten an Applebee's in 15 years, I will
That's
have you
all
know.
I need to know. Okay,
Yeah,
concern has
we're
been
good.
delineated.
Yeah.
Next thing is I actually would prefer, maybe this is where we differ. If somebody is kind of playing a little bit spikier and they have a combo, I would rather them do it early
Oh, yeah,
than
don't play with
later.
your food, for sure.
Well, the
I
reason
absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, because like, like maybe the appetizer just came out, but like, okay, that one person gets to eat the appetizer, but you can still order a meal, with the Applebee's thing. Like, I would rather be like, okay, I only played 2 spells, but hey, now I don't have to waste my time and we can do another game and the other person now
Yeah,
knows, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. I think that's a good difference.
I was playing games the other night,
Yeah.
and, someone comboed off 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Uh, and they're like, game 3? Get another game? I was like, yeah, but I'm switching decks because I had played one spell.
Yeah.
And then I switched decks. I played Primal Surge. I played a lot more spells,
There you go.
but the game still only lasted 25 minutes.
That is a bit of a bummer. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
that kind of whittles down to the social contract that we like to
Yeah.
hammer in, which is also
Yeah.
a speaker that we have that might be available soon. But when it comes to the social contract, I'm not here's the deal. I've had people be very, defensive when we talk about the social contract, saying, "Well, I don't feel like I should have to tell you the entire game plan of my deck because the whole point is to, kind of like be, mysterious and like kind of get that win. I'm not telling you to tell me
Yeah.
the whole combo in your deck, but like at least tell me, hey, I have an infinite combo in here, or like, hey, I have a
I want the
combo.
Bumble profile of your deck. I don't want the autobiography.
There it is. Yeah, like, just give me the gist of what's going on. I don't want you to feel like you have to tell me your deck's life story. Just
Yeah.
brief.
I don't need you to fan it out all in front of me, but like
Yeah.
let me know this is explicitly a combo deck. It is trying to win as fast as
Yeah, yeah,
possible.
yeah. So,
That's all. I don't need to know what the combo is. I just need to know playing a combo deck, trying to win
I
fast. The
mhm,
combo pieces are going to present themselves pretty apparently.
yes. I do wanna ask you a question, though, because earlier
Yeah.
you said that you in that game that you played, that was only, like, 25 minutes, you decided to switch to Primal Surge. Do you consider Primal Surge to be a combo card?
You have a more nuanced opinion about this.
So, yes, I do.
I have a shade of gray.
Okay,
I have a very
give me a
shade of
shade
gray
gray.
answer on this. It is technically a combo, but it is only
Uh-huh.
one card.
There you go.
It just happens to be one card that could theoretically put the other 98 cards into play. Therefore, it is a combo card.
Okay. I think differently. I think it is not a combo. Because it itself is a one singular card. And like yeah, it's explosive. Do not get me wrong, it is very explosive.
It
I
will win
played
you the
your
game.
it will win you a game. I played your deck. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
It's fun and
It's
exciting.
powerful. It feels
Yeah, it
good.
pretty much gets you all the creatures from your deck onto the battlefield if you're running a deck like EK's, which literally has no non-creatures in it other than lands. So it's kind of like okay,
It's
but
Joe Wheeler.
it's fun, but, like, the thing about it with that for me is that Primal Surge is not a combo because it itself is one card. Like, if I'm playing a green deck and I play a Finale of Devastation and I just sink a bunch of mana into it just from
Go get a
lands,
hoof.
you go get a Huff, but, like, that's not a combo, that's just
You
a
still
good
need all of the
card.
other stuff around it,
Yes, that's just a good card.
which is probably why you think Primal Surge isn't a combo card,
Exactly.
because you still have to do stuff after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
and of course, like, there's the whole nuance of, like, do combos have to win you the game or do they have to be explosive? But, like, in my mind, when we
you
look
can
at
have
it from just
like very innocent combos.
of course you can. Very easy. Like, just, like, a nice easy flicker with, like, a workhorse and, like, an MEO, like, a good,
Yeah.
like, infinite flicker. But, like, with Primal Surge, it's a strong card, but I equate it to, like, a Finale of Devastation or a
Yeah.
Triumph of the Hordes. I don't
It's
consider it
10
to be, like, a
mana.
it's
It's a
10.
sorcery.
Guess what? You know what else is 10 mana? Storm Herd. And guess what? Not a combo. And guess what? Also a sorcery.
It's interesting you bring up Stormherd,
Yes.
because Stormherd is also incredibly powerful. There are a lot of people out there, they would rather play against the Stormherd, where
Because they're
somebody gets like 79 2/2 flying Pegasus.
it's because they have class. It's because they have great taste that they like Storm Herd.
I mean, sure,
I
okay.
love
Let's
Storm Herd.
go. Let's go with that. There's this mindset in the
Mhm.
format where like you don't play combos, you don't do anything like that.
Mhm.
Like combat is the only way to win a game.
I've been dabbling in combat, so I feel
Yeah,
that.
I've noticed.
Yeah,
You
you've seen my
I
journey.
went to combat once
That's a treat.
as a treat. Like I find, and this is no disrespect to people who enjoy like the 2.5 to 3 hour game.
Yeah, yeah.
I find that games that are completely combo-less, where
Mhm.
combat is the way to win, tend to drag on a while,
Yeah,
because
that's fair.
how do you make up for the fact that you aren't comboing? You spin your wheels,
Yeah.
and you just play a ton of stuff.
Commander has entered this era of where things are very complex and very less simplistic as they used to be. That's
There are a
why I
lot of
kind of
words on cards now.
yeah, there used to be kind of like an unspoken rule of like cards shouldn't have more than 4 lines of text, and now it's like 6, 7 lines, 8 lines. Like
We're
that's not unheard
starting
of.
at 4.
Yeah, as the minimum, truthfully. But like Commander has turned into this very complex format. It's always been complex, but it's moving away from combat. I've noticed, and which is like used to be the straight line path to victory. Now it's more in depth and involved. I've noticed, which is why I decided to build Zapandrel and Vivictus to kind of return to that feeling of combat. And I've noticed that when I play those decks, even though people are running these super strong combos, they're so focused on their combos that they don't have a way to defend against big beefy beaters.
I was about to say you had like a 26-26 with Trampler or with
Hmm.
Trample last night,
Yes, I
and
did.
everyone was just like, "Yeah, I got nothing."
Yeah. because everyone's so focused on doing their own thing, which I
Mhm.
find interesting, and that's a conversation in and of itself. But
Yeah.
when it comes to combos, I do agree with you. Like it's become a combo game where you kind of need to have that a little bit.
Actually have a nuanced opinion about this that I want your opinion on.
Let me hear. Let me hear. Let me hear.
I think the format has, like, trended more towards combo
Hmm.
because there is this notion that you don't wanna just eliminate one player at a time and have those, like, knocked out players just sit there for potentially an hour.
Super fair.
So
Yes.
you have to eliminate everybody at the same time, and what's the
Hmm.
easiest way to do that?
Combo.
Spin your wheels, play a ton of stuff, and go to
Yeah.
combat with, like, most of your deck in play, or play a combo.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Or go to combat and combo in combat.
See, with I agree with what you're saying because, but I would say like the two decks that I have that are more combat oriented um, are very
They're
different.
big. They go big.
They go wide,
Yeah.
or they go very narrow, but they go
They
very
they they make
chonky.
lots of numbers in multiple different ways.
Exactly. So like it's not unheard of for me to kill two people at once and then the last person the
Yeah.
next turn after. But I do agree with you on that like with my decks cuz I don't really combo. But for instance, I'll give an example. My Locust God deck that is in my opinion combat oriented first with swinging with locusts. As a secondary fallback, I do have combos in there to win me the game just in case I don't get to swing, which
Mhm.
happens pretty consistently because Locust God is kind of like a red flag commander.
Yeah, Fogs, Teferi's Protection, a lot of those cards
Yeah.
are becoming popular
Yeah,
again.
yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. So like running combos for me is kind of like my backup plan where for a lot of people it's kind of their only plan.
Yeah. How many times have I played Celebrity Deathmatch against your Locust God deck? And it's just like, I can't do anything. He's got crime in his hand. He
He's
always
got,
has crime in his hand.
he's got crime in his hands and he's got the joy down in his heart and the crime in his hands.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
yeah.
like you cannot win that game
Mm-mm.
theoretically if it's us heads up in that matchup. You need another way to win.
You do. Which is why it's good to like I like to think of using combos as like a safety net, a fallback,
Yeah.
because like you can play pretty I don't want to say competitively, but you can play pretty aggressively. And still just not have it get anywhere because like for instance with Locust God, if you have a propaganda or a ghostly prison, I'm SOL. Truly, I'm SOL. That's rough for me. All right.
Never
So
winning
like
that.
no,
How
but
so
like
you gotta have something.
yeah, so
And
like
it's the same thing with a combo deck
yeah.
that can't combo. How are you
Mhm.
supposed to win if you can't combo?
You know what? This is really reminding me of was it our first episode that we did where it's the thing? Like you
Yeah.
have to buy, but there it's all connected, baby. It's all connected. It's all texture, baby. I've been telling people that by the way. I told people about that in Richmond. I'm like, you and I have a phrase we use where if we mess up or if something goes weird or it's just different, it's just all texture, baby.
Yeah.
It's all
Just
texture.
catching
All right.
on. Tastemakers.
It is
But it's so true though. It's so
it
true.
is. You have to find other ways to do things. So like, if you're a combo deck running some, big beater pieces or maybe some ways to get your combo back. Like in my Alibu deck, I have a really good combo, well not even a combo piece, but it's a wing con is my grafted exoskeleton. If you exile it, it's going to be a lot harder for me to win, but I do have Karn that lets me get stuff out of exile.
And Karn just happens to be a good card in your
Oh
deck.
yeah. Of course it does. It's beautiful.
And this is an interesting segue. I'm going to bring this up. We didn't write this down. I just think it's very cool.
Love it, love it, love it.
There are a lot of cards out there that a lot of people tend to run in their decks
Mhm.
that are just very strong, independent from their other combo pieces
Mhm.
that just happen to combo together. And that's why I always say, even if you think your deck is a combo deck or doesn't have combos, it does.
Yeah, no, that's 1,000. I'm actually so glad you brought that up. Um, I used to have an MEL the Blessed deck, and like it had some good synergies in there. I mean, it's a commander that wants you to flicker stuff, and you can pay mana to give it a counter if you wanted to. But I never did that. I just wanted to flicker stuff for very cheap.
Yeah.
And it did very good things. I mean, it comboed off with like workhorse and stuff, and like I mean, it did all these disgusting things. But and I mean this every single time I played that deck. I found a new combo within the deck that I never heard of before. And it got to the point where I played a game that I felt like I was being the problem. Like I was the misery creator, that I was like, I'm done. And I took that deck apart the next day. And I still get compliments on that deck, but like I just discovered so many new synergies within that deck that and I would always go, oh, well, it's not that kind of deck. It just flickers and I get value. Value is going to lead to something.
Value is a win con. It's
Yes, it
just
is.
a win con that takes a lot of time.
Yes.
I want to ask you now.
Yes.
I know last week or 2 weeks ago was the Would You
Yes.
Rather episode, and
Uh-huh.
you said don't ask you this question. I just think it's relevant right now. Would you rather play against someone comboing off
Mhm.
or spinning their wheels?
I would rather comboing off. Um, and the reason why I say that is because as someone who used to have a wheel spinny combo deck, um, it gets so boring for the other players. My one of my biggest fears is taking a turn that is so spinny or twiddly that somebody has to be on their phone while I do it.
Hi, it's me. I'm the problem.
You remember that 1,000-year storm turn that
The-
took 20 minutes?
I fever suspicioned everybody's deck into play. That was kind of cool. Or like literally anybody ever who casts Bolas Citadel.
Yeah, because then there's
There
a land on top, and then they're like, "How do I get this land off the top?" And then it's like,
and
"Oh
then like
god."
me being me, I have like 55 different ways of getting the land off the top, and I
Yeah, but
can
they're all at the
easily
bottom of
assemble.
the deck. You can't get to them.
Or you're just like like you're playing Yahtzee just trying to get through things. But there's
Yeah.
just like there are combos and there's wheel spinning that is non-determinate. And like Krark and Sakashima is a good example of this. That is
Mhm.
like technically a combo deck, but it is like a manual combo deck. You know eventually it's going to do the thing. It's just that because of how it works, you have to do it one step at a time and there is no way to shortcut it. Most of
Oh,
the time, these tighter combo decks have a way to shortcut things.
you sparked my brain. You reminded
Yeah,
me about something. I used to have a Gitrog deck, and
you did.
technically, Gitrog with his
It's a
combo.
combo
So
deck. It's a
yeah,
combo deck.
it is a combo deck. That deck was beautiful but brutal to play.
The primer for that deck is literally a like college
No,
dissertation.
yeah. So pretty much what you need is you need some way the way I played it, you need a discard outlet.
Hmm.
And you need to have lands in hand and you need Dackmore salvage, which dredges and the way I played it, I played Scourge Familiar, which is, discard a card to get a black mana to your mana pool. And then I would sink that eventually into like Torment of Hailfire or
Yeah.
Exsanguinate. But here's the deal. With the way dredge is worded, you have to walk that out every single time.
Thousand Year Storms, same way. Flipping coins with Krark and Sakashima, same thing. Bolas Citadel, you got to play each of those spells one
Yes,
at a
you have to
time.
do it. You have to do it. And I remember playing a game where I was like, I'm going to demonstrate this combo. It works. If you interrupt it,
Trust me, bro, it
but
works.
but that's how I had to explain it. I'd be like, trust me, it works. But like, if you disrupt it, obviously I lose or I have to
No,
respond. But my opponent was like a little salty that I was winning that way, and so he made me walk it out, and that took. By the time we were like 20 minutes into me walking it out, I think he was just like, "Okay, I'm done. You have it." Because I think he was
yeah,
getting like whatever, but it's like it's one of those combos that like eventually it'll get there, but because of how exponential it is, and how
yeah,
vast because you
exactly.
have to have like shufflers in the deck. You have to have like an Ulamog or a Guy's Blessing or whatever. But it's just crazy combos like that.
There are these certain like manual combo cards, these like one card, I wouldn't even call it a combo card, just like very powerful cards that do a lot of
Hmm.
things
Yeah.
that you feel obligated to run because they're just like really good cards or they're like amazing for your deck. Like, is there ever a world where we just like don't run them?
I
But
don't
if we
do
don't
that.
run them, what do we do?
I
Is it
don't do
just like
that.
it's just a fact of the format that that's just how this is? This is how that's going to be. And if that's the
I
case, do we have to bring it up at the beginning of the games? Like, do you have to say, "Hey, I have a Bolas Citadel in this deck"? I don't think
so
anyone would ever bat an eye at a Bolas
no.
Citadel. I don't think
Mm.
anyone would ever bat an eye at a Dakmar combo.
No, so when it comes to because I think that's what's expected of that,
Yeah,
truthfully. So
yeah,
like I run combos in certain decks, not because I have to, but because I want to or I like to. Like with Locust God, those are my safety nets. But I don't feel obligated to run them. I play the deck how I want to play it. But when it comes to like expressing that before the game, I think a really good way to explain it is like, hey, I have an infinite combo in here. You know, like if it's like a well-known combo, if you're holding up a veto, I know what that combo is. But
Yeah.
like if you're like, this is my um oh gosh, my like Tom Bombadil deck that functions off of turning all of my enchantments into creatures and then flickering those creatures and making you mill them. I think that's super different because I'm not going to know that, you know?
The other day I was trying to explain to you the combo that I built into Borborygmos and Fibblethip
Yeah, I remember you just
that
saying it's bad.
you had to go Google every single one of the cards. It was
No,
that,
yeah.
like,
I was confused because you went, I don't think, was that the one that you said that you weren't going to build anymore?
yeah, I'm not building it anyway. And this is me exercising restraint and me realizing like, hey,
Hmm.
this goes too far. And I think that's something that we can exercise in our deck building
Of
and our play
course.
testing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where if you're very, very, very easily able to tell a vibe from a deck where it's like, oh, like this is too combo-y for
Hmm.
the table that I'm trying to play for, or maybe it's not combo-y enough. Like, maybe this does only, you know, remove a
I'm,
player on turn 4 and then they have to go sit for an hour and a half and while we like actually get to hang
mhm.
out.
I mean, you and I had that conversation about tweaking your decks in order to create the kind of energy you want to have for games.
Yeah.
I also don't want to make people feel miserable with me. And that's the same thing that you did with your Borborygmos deck, which honestly I commend you for because that deck looks very fun. And honestly, those combo cards are in and of itself a whole can of
Yeah.
worms of overpowered strong stuff.
You didn't know that Uyo Silent Prophet from Champions of Kamigawa was gonna break Borborygmos and Fibblethip.
Nope. But guess what? Everything is going to combo with something eventually.
Yes.
That's how it is.
It,
That's how it's going to work. And it's going to be crazy and it's going to be nasty.
because of the design philosophy for Commander nowadays, where they
Hmm.
are maximizing backwards compatibility for cards and
Hmm.
mechanics and sets and everything like that, it's truer than ever that everything is inevitably going to lead to combos or like just higher power synergies in
Hmm.
general. That, like you said, there's this inevitability
Hmm.
that the format is going to boil down to a combo format. The more and more that the format is left to develop and more cards get released into the format, this will be a combo format. No matter how much we try not to have it be a combo format.
Yeah, I want to explain something here. I've noticed this trend too. I've had these thoughts exactly. I truly think that's why I've been leaning more towards combat focused decks and creature focused decks because people are trying to prepare more for disrupting combos and instant spells and sorcery spells and removing those enchantments and stuff. But that's why I've been leaning more towards swingers with like Zapandro and Vivictus. And I've had this metaphor in my head for a while, but truly playing a game with those decks against combo decks feels like I'm a caveman shoving a stick into a
That's
motherboard, and all of a sudden they go, "We can't fix it," and it's just like a stick. A caveman stopping this intelligent race with a
why do you
stick.
think I've been playing this way for like the decade that I've been playing Magic almost exclusively?
I
It
love
is
it.
it's so much fun.
I've grown to love it.
Well, and here's the thing.
Mhm.
Wait until you play creature combo decks that just do everything with creatures, like Primal Surge.
Yeah, I mean, well, I did try that at first. You remember that my Zapandra deck was supposed to be a
Yeah,
Primal Surge deck, but
yeah,
then you
and then
literally texted me and you went, "You realize you're gonna have to make this a combo deck," and I went, "Nope, never
nope,
mind."
done, out of here.
Yeah, I just went straight creatures. I was like, "I'm bored with this. I don't want to do a combo."
But like now you're just having fun.
Yeah,
You're combining cards together, but you're not comboing. And I
no.
think that's the nuance that people need to take time, sit down, look in the mirror, and just soul search. Do I like combos or do I like
Mhm.
combining cards together? Because there's a
I like
difference.
synergy. I like synergies. That's why
Hmm.
you don't see me playing too many combos. I find synergies to be much more rewarding because I think
Yeah.
synergies take a little bit more nuance when you're deck building as opposed to combo additions because you know a combo's already going to be good because you've seen it played out and so you're going to shove it in there. But like I think a synergy takes a little bit more finesse to kind of
Yeah.
it's a little bit more intricate. You know, it's more
Hmm.
delicate because a
Yeah.
combo feels like a battering ram to me. And a synergy feels less like that.
Not all synergies are combos,
But
but all
all
combos
combos are
are
synergies.
synergies.
Yeah.
not to throw a wrench in your logic
Yeah,
there,
yeah. You mean a
but
stick?
yeah, there's a lick of truth to that.
Yeah, no, there is.
And I think that's where people need to be careful.
Mhm. I just don't do combos truly because they don't bring me a lot of joy. But when I see a card like maybe ricochet off of something and not the spell ricochet, but like, you know, like with like Bramble Sovereign, I make token copies of like my cards that enter the battlefield, but then I have a Sylvan Anthem that says whenever green creature ETBs, I scry. So then I
Yeah.
get 2 scries. It just feels nice to have that fun little like interaction happen to me. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Outside of Kiki Jiki or like
Uh-huh.
Thassa's Oracle stuff, what is like the most white bread vanilla combo that you can think of?
Sanguine Bond and Exquisite Blood. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm comparing this to in my head. It's still 2 cards, still does interesting things. Actually, still needs
Mhm.
a third card to
Yes, it
like
does. To
actually
pop it off.
have an outlet to
Yeah.
do anything.
But it's the
It's
most
it's a lot more interesting. It's
it
compelling. It's something that someone's never seen.
yeah. But like I know it's coming from a mile away when I see a sanguine bond
Yeah.
hit the field. I'm like, I know what you're doing. We all know what
Yeah.
you're doing. You're playing life gain, aristocrats, vampires, what have you.
Super sleuth. Blue could figure this out without clues. There's no paw prints on these cards. Just the amount of reps that I've put into Magic and like
Yeah.
doing this as my job, I look at a lot of cards all day.
I
And
know.
all you think about is how cards work with other cards.
Mhm.
You're less blindsided. It feels less bad seeing the cards themselves that get played and then combo. You feel less bad about that, but then you tend to focus more on the context.
Mm.
There's a big difference between your Locust God combo with
Yeah.
Sage of the Falls coming down at 70 minutes versus 20. The context of it is, oh, we've actually played a game and it is not that easy to assemble to do in the first place
Yeah.
versus blue, blue, black from hand at instant speed at any time,
Mhm.
or even worse, like Flash in CEDH, where you just like happen to have this blue instant and a Protean Hulk in your hand,
Mhm.
and then you just win the game on turn 0. Like people have like gone to their upkeep
Mhm.
or their draw phase on the first turn, the first player, and the game's already over. Like that's not
Ye-
fun. That's cool
Yeah.
like the first time you see it, that's novel, but like anytime after that, it's not.
Yeah.
It
Victory
loses its
vic-
luster.
Victory is always fun to achieve, don't get me wrong, but I also don't want to do it at the cost of other people's enjoyment.
You are 1/4 of the time equity at the table. And I
Mm.
think it's something that I've tried to be more cognizant of as time has gone on.
I also feel like our experience is going to be different with this. I feel like we always have to preface this, but because
Yeah.
our play group is made largely of, not mostly of, but largely of content creators, we have an incredibly different experience than
Yeah.
others do. Like, I mean, I still go to F&M almost every week. It's been a couple weeks because I've been away on trips, but like, I go to F&M and I play with people there, but I also play with, you and like people like Olivia and like Shivam and stuff like that. Like we
Mhm.
all play like on stream with each other.
We
So
we
it's
have
like a
this
different
unwritten
experience.
vibe check.
Yeah.
We'll have our fun in one game, and if it happens to happen again the second game, oh well. But yeah, like if you just utterly pop off on that first game,
Yeah.
maybe mulligan that like super hot snap keep game 2.
Mhm.
Uh,
I agree.
Whereas if we're out in at an event or something like that, we are a little bit more in depth with the vibe checks and like, hey, if push comes to shove, it's getting late. Go off, or
Yeah.
let's let this game kind of develop a little bit. Don't play with your food, but
Mhm.
like we're just trying to hang out, get to know each other, have a good time. There's a big difference there,
Yeah,
and
there
I
is.
think a lot of this combo talk actually boils down to you know not necessarily prefacing that like, hey, I have combos in my deck,
Mhm.
but more, hey, if I have my combo, should I just play it right away? Should I just go for it?
Yeah, but we've had that happen on streams before where somebody goes, "I have the win in hand, what are y'all feeling?"
Yeah.
Which in itself can come across a certain way. Don't get me wrong, but I also appreciate it because it's valuing my time.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, do I want to play for another hour, or do like we want to like have you in and then I can leave and get lunch, because
Yeah,
I'm hungry. I've had that happen. I
exactly,
find it to be a
exactly.
little bit more respectful of my time when people do that.
99% of the time, we're telling that person to go off and do the thing.
Usually, yeah, because I think the
But
phrase
even that,
is game,
like,
stand,
that
and
little bit of
sometime.
respect, goes a long way for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Um,
And I feel like we see it more within the creator space than we do in,
are
pods at F&M, because the energy is just different there. Like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
and for a good reason. It's different. But I don't know. I think that we've been kind of, I want to say spoiled, but I think like we have had the luxury.
We tippy toe a lot more than most people normally
Yeah,
would.
because we have the luxury to do that. I think we
Mhm.
do, as opposed to other people, for sure.
We're we're not there for ourselves, we're there to entertain others,
Yes.
and we're curating this vibe like, a 25-minute combo win that involves spinning wheels necessarily isn't fun to watch.
No, it is
Doesn't
not.
necessarily make great entertainment. Is it cool, like, mechanically in the game? Yeah.
Yeah, and the end result could be cool itself, but that 25 sandwich in between is not going to be fun for you to
Yeah,
watch, the editor to
exactly.
edit, and the stream to chat about.
Yeah, like, you don't get a gameplay video out of it, you get a TikTok or like a short
You
clippy
get
of
you get a YouTube short.
yeah, and there for a content creator, there's a big difference between the two.
Yes, there is. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Bad at Magic. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chase, also known as Manic Curves. I'm a Commander content creator streaming Paper Commander gameplay and deck building on my Twitch channel, and I also write articles for Star City Games.
And I'm Eddie K Plays Cards on all of the things. I work behind the scenes with most of your favorite Commander content creators. So if you're supporting them, chances are you're also supporting me, and I appreciate that. I also appreciate when you support this show by liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, retweeting, leaving a comment on the tweet, because that's the cool thing to do these days. To support the show goes a really, really long way. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys. You're the reason that we do this. We will both be in Minneapolis, so if you're in Minneapolis, come say hi to us and play some games.
Please do.